Good day, dear students. At the previous video lesson, we have talked about writing an introduction to an essay. So, from the previous lesson that you know that writing an introduction consists of the following steps. And first two steps of our plan were analyzed by us in the previous lesson. And today we will move to the third and the fourth steps in writing an introduction. So let's start. Let's move to the third step. Okay. So, the third step is presenting your thesis or presenting your thesis statement. So, first of all, to present your thesis statement, you should take into account the following. And the first one is make your point. After you have set up the context within which you are making your argument, tell your readers the point of your essay. Use your thesis statement to directly communicate the unique points you will attempt to make through your essay. For example, a thesis for an essay on blackface performance might be because of its humiliating and demoralizing effect on African American slaves. Blackface was used less as a comedy routine and more as a way of enforcing racial segregation. Be confident in your writing. Avoid including fluff such as, in this essay I will attempt to show. Instead, dive right in and make your claim bold and proud. Your outline should be specific, unique, and provable. Through your essay, you will make points that will show that your thesis statement is true, or at least persuade your readers that it is most likely true. Describe how you are going to prove your point. Round out your introduction by providing your readers with a basic roadmap of what you will say in your essay to support your thesis statement. In most cases, this doesn't need to be more than a sentence. If you have created an outline for your essay, this sentence is essentially the main subject of each paragraph of the body of your essay. For example, if you are writing an essay about the unification of Italy, you might list 3 obstacles to unification. In the body of your essay, you would discuss details about how each of those obstacles was addressed or overcome. Instead of just listing all of your supporting points, sum them up by stating how or why your thesis is true. For example, instead of saying, phones should be banned from classrooms because they distract students, promote cheating, and make too much noise, you might say, phones should be banned from the classrooms because they act as an obstacle to learning. Transition smoothly into the body of your essay. In many cases, you will find that you can move straight from your introduction to the first paragraph of the body. Some introductions, however, may require a short transitional sentence at the end to flow naturally into the rest of your essay. To figure out if you need a transition sentence, read the introduction and the first paragraph out loud. If you find yourself pausing or stumbling between the paragraphs, work in a transition to make the move smoother. You can also have friends or family members read your essay. If they feel it jumps from the introduction into the essay, see what you can do to smooth it out. And now the last step in writing an introduction, bringing it all together. Read essays by other writers in your discipline. What constitutes a good introduction will vary widely depending on your subject matter. A suitable introduction in one academic discipline may not work as well in another. If you are writing your essay for a class assignment, ask your instructor for examples of well-written essays that you can look at. Take note of conventions that are commonly used by writers in that discipline. Make a brief outline of the essay based on the information presented in the introduction. Then look at that outline as you read the essay to see how the essay follows it to prove the writer's thesis statement. Keep your introduction short and simple. Generally, your introduction should be between 5 or 10% of the overall length of your essay. If you are writing a 10-page paper, your introduction should be approximately 1 page. For short essays under 1,000 words, keep your introduction to one paragraph, between 100 and 200 words. Always follow your instructor's guidelines for length. These rules can vary at times based on the form of writing. Write your introduction after you write your essay. Some writers prefer to write the body of the essay first, then go back and write the introduction. It's easier to present a summary of your essay when you have already written it. As you write your essay, you may want to jot down things you want to include in your introduction. For example, you may realize that you are using a particular term that you need to define in your introduction. Revise your introduction to fit your essay. If you wrote your introduction first, go back and make sure your introduction provides an accurate roadmap of your completed paper. Even if you wrote an outline, you may have deviated from your original plans. Delete any filler or unnecessary language. Given the shortness of the introduction, every sentence should be essential to your reader's understanding of your essay. Structure your introduction effectively. An essay introduction is fairly fixed and will have the same basic elements regardless of your subject matter or academic discipline. While it is short, it conveys a lot of information. The first sentence or two should be your hook, designed to grab your reader's attention and get them interested in reading your essay. The next couple of sentences create a bridge between your hook and the overall topic of the rest of your essay. End your introduction with your thesis statement and the list of the points you will make in your essay to support or prove your thesis statement. So that was the end. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.